Salam! Welcome to my kitchen. To celebrate the Persian New Year Norouz, I'm going to be showing everyone how to make ghormeh sabzi, known as the national dish of Iran. This is one of my favorite meals to make, and I remember growing up as a kid when my mom made ghormeh sabzi, the entire house smelling like herbs, and I'm excited to share this really important dish with you. We're also going to be making Persian rice with taghi, which is the best part of Persian rice, and masa khiyar, which is a yogurt, cucumber, and mint side dish. So get ready, take notes. We're going to be showing you how to make these important and very special Persian meals. One of the primary ingredients in ghormeh sabzi are herbs, but also a base of onion. You want to make sure you chop your onions in circles, and you'll be able to sizzle this along with whatever meat you're using. Because I'm a vegan, we are going to use a meat substitute, but just know one of the main traditional ingredients of ghormeh sabzi is lamb. Let's go. All right, so right now we're getting our onions to be softer in the pot. This is gonna be the main pot where we make our stew. And so while we're waiting about 8 to 10 minutes for the onions to soften, we're going to prepare the herbs. Ghormeh sabzi is all about the herbs. So we have our green onions, our parsley, cilantro, fenugreek. We are going to actually be picking the leaves off the stems, and then we'll put all of our herbs into a food processor to get it to be really fine. And that's gonna actually be the key component and the key flavors of ghormeh sabzi. Now that the onions are a golden brown, we're gonna be adding 4 cups of water and let this sit for about 2 hours. Let me close up. All right, so everything has already been rinsed and dried. And so now we are literally going to pick this by leaf, and you're gonna begin to understand why cooking ghormeh sabzi is such a delicate process, but one that is totally worth it when you're finished. Because there's so many herbs to pick, I've recruited Lauren to help. Let's get it done! All right, now that we have picked all of our cilantro and parsley, we're gonna put it into the food processor to get it to be really fine. And then after that, we'll cook it up. Okay, so we've done a lot of work so far, but we're almost finished cooking ghormeh sabzi. Right now, before me, I have 4 separate ingredients that we have prepped. We have cilantro and parsley ready to go and minced really finely. We also have our chives, our green onions. I'm gonna include dry fenugreek leaves. It's better to have these not dry, but alas, we always have some shortcuts. And so these ingredients are gonna go together to be sauteed in this large pan until you get to this dark green color from the mixture. Another part of ghormeh sabzi are kidney beans. And so in most cases, you'll get a bag of dry kidney beans and you'll have them soak in water for 30 minutes and have them become tender for the stew. Because I'm in a hurry, I am using canned kidney beans. Please, Persian ancestors, don't hate me for this. Now that we've cooked all of our herbs together, with a little bit of oil, a little bit of salt, we're going to combine our herbs. Now that we've added the herbs to the onion base, we're gonna throw in our canned kidney beans. So once you have all your ingredients in the main pot, You basically want to cook it to taste. So you might want to add a little bit of salt, pepper. Sometimes I add a little bit extra onion powder to get that onion kick in there, and lime juice. Preferably, if you have some dried limes, you can also add that and let it cook together. But lime juice will also help get that same flavor. A little pro tip with your dried limes, puncture holes in them so the flavors can actually have an easier way into your stew. Cook the rice. So you want to get basmati rice, and honestly when I cook Persian rice I don't really use measurements. I use my finger as a measuring tool. So when you put rice to water, the ratio, it has to be enough water where the first line on your finger is the depth of the water to the rice. Let's do it. So see what I mean? So now we're gonna have the rice water with a little bit of oil and salt sit until it begins to boil and we see the rice become more tender. All right, so our rice is now cooked, but it doesn't mean it's finished yet. We have to do the tagine. So go ahead and come a little closer, Lauren. So you want your rice to be nice and fluffy, but to make tagine, you have to dig a hole in the middle of your rice, and then you want to pour oil into it and then spread the oil across the bottom of the pan as best as you can. Another pro tip to get your rice to be extra fluffy, you can grab a towel or paper towels and actually put that on top of your rice and then cover it. Just one of the tips that I learned from my mom growing up making rice. Saffron, one of the most Persian of spices you will find, and this is actually from Iran. So we're gonna make something called saffron tea, which is basically taking a small pinch full of saffron and putting it in hot water. And then we use that hot water to add to our rice, to add saffron flavor to the rice that we're already making. Okay, so you might be wondering, what is tagine? So tagine is basically frying the bottom of your rice so you have this crispy top when you serve the rice, which means we're gonna take this pot and when it's ready, we're actually going to flip it and then lift it up, and we should have a crunchy bottom, now top of the rice. The only way to know if it's ready is, of course, you can try to watch it, and usually it's gonna be about 20 to 30 minutes of the rice sitting with that oil in the bottom to when the tagine is ready to be flipped. But the trick that my mom taught me is to listen for the sound when you touch the pot with your index finger. So let's do it. Do you hear that? Sounds like it's ready. Here comes the flip. Nice. Now we're gonna make what's a side dish called mas khiyar. Mas means yogurt in Persian, khiyar is cucumber. So we have those two main ingredients. We also have mint leaves, which is the most important flavor, and then we have a little bit of salt and pepper to enhance it. Well, there you have it, folks. We have just taught you how to make gorma sabzi, masa khiyar, and rice with taghi. This is a traditional Persian meal. It is one of my favorites. I hope you enjoyed it, and happy Norouz, Norouz Mubarak. May this be a beautiful, healthy, and happy new year.